Elon Musk confirms he was at an alleged Silicon Valley sex party until 1 a.m., but he says he thought it was a costume party and left early. Elon Musk was at a party where people were having the sex? Or were they? Emily Chang's newest Vanity Fair piece titled, "Oh my God, this is so fucked up. Inside Silicon Valley's secretive, orgiastic dark side. Some of the most powerful men in Silicon Valley are regulars at exclusive, drug-fueled, sex-laced parties, gatherings they describe not as scandalous or even secret, but as bold, unconventional lifestyle choices. Yet while the guys get laid, the women get screwed." In an adaptation from her new book, Brotopia, Emily Chang exposes the tired and toxic dynamic at play. Paul Bigger, tech entrepreneur, software engineer, and founder of Circle CI, wrote in a Medium post, "I was there, and it's way worse than it sounds." He quotes 2 paragraphs from the Vanity Fair piece. In June 2017, one young woman, let's call her Jane Doe, received a paperless post invite for a party on the edge of the earth at the home of a wealthy venture capitalist. The invite requested glamazon adventurer, safari chic, and jungle tribal attire. Ironically, the gathering was held just a week after sexual harassment allegations against Binary Capital co-founder Justin Kalbeck had been reported, but that didn't seem to discourage certain guests from indulging in heavy petting in the open. Doe found herself on the floor with 2 couples, including a male entrepreneur and his wife. The living room had been blanketed in plush white faux fur and pillows, where, as the evening wore on, several people lay down and started stroking one another, Doe said, in what became a sizable cuddle puddle. One venture capitalist dressed up as a bunny, it's unclear how this fits into the edge of the earth theme, offered Jane Doe some powder in a plastic bag. It was Molly. They said it will just make you feel relaxed and you're going to like being touched, Doe recounted to me. The part he left out says, nervous, she dipped her finger into the powder and put it in her mouth. Soon, her guard dropped. Then the male founder asked if he could kiss her. It was so weird, she says. I'm like, your wife is right there. Is she okay with this? The founder's wife acknowledged that yes, she was okay with it. Jane Doe, who considers herself fairly adventurous and open-minded, kissed the founder, then became uncomfortable, feeling as if she had been pressured or targeted. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel really stupid. I'm drugged up because I'd never taken it before, and he knew I'd never taken it, she recalled. She tried to escape to a different area of the party. I felt gross because I had participated in making out with him, and then he kept trying to find me, and I kept trying to run away and hide. I remember saying to him, aren't people going to wonder? And he said, the people that know me know what is going on, and the people that don't, I don't really care. Before dawn, she jumped into her car and left. What's not okay about this scene is that it is so money and power dominated. It's a problem because it's an abuse of power. I would never do it again. Jane Doe says, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry, but you took Molly. You asked for his consent before you kissed him, and then you kissed him, and then you felt uncomfortable. Welcome to the world of being a responsible adult. I don't see any abuse of power here from what's been recounted. They offered it to her. They told her what it does. She took it. And then she felt like shit afterwards. But back to Paul's story. Before I go into my experience at the party, it shouldn't need to be said, but it is absolutely inexcusable to use your power or allow that power to be used by others to exploit people for sex. This is basic being a human 101. It's incredibly fucked up to use your power as an investor or to allow your power to be used by others to lure women to sex parties or for this to be a means of women getting access to Silicon Valley's power structures. This wasn't billed as a sex party. It was an official party of the VC firm, but we were certainly primed for it. There was a sort of wink-wink, nudge-nudge thing going on. We were warned before going not to be freaked out about the stuff there. No photos were allowed, and definitely don't tell anyone what we saw. I actually texted my co-founder. I think I got invited to a sex party. A mea culpa is in order here. I'm privileged that when someone invites me to a sex party, I don't feel unsafe, which is not true for many, especially women. Now, while I have no interest in having group sex with rich and powerful people, I was certainly interested in seeing what the fuck this party was. Having not been at one of these, nor being an investor, it had not occurred to me how the VC power dynamic plays out in the situation, nor how exploitative its potential. I regret being so cavalier to what I should have realized was an exploitative situation. Luring women to sex parties is bad. But when he got an invite and even texted his friend about the fact that he got an invite, well, he just wanted to see what it's all about. Okay. I came to Silicon Valley to make things. And while it's true that wherever there is money and power, there are going to be people who abuse it, we need to step up and stop this shit from going on. It is never okay to abuse your power to exploit women or any underrepresented group, or to allow your power to be used by others to do so. Really, only underrepresented groups? So you can use sex as leverage to an Asian founder and it's okay because they're overrepresented within the industry? Jesus Christ, Paul. But thankfully, we have some people other than Paul to give their perspectives as to what actually happened at this party. After all, Paul left early. What about the people who actually stayed there longer than him? Mason Hartman shared a Facebook post on Twitter providing some additional details. I attended one of the parties covered. I was there until nearly 5 a.m. I saw no sex. I saw no nudity. The cuddling I saw was almost entirely between people who were obviously couples. People were dancing or chatting in groups. The cuddle space is where I laid down and napped on and off for the last few hours while I was there. I was on crutches and many people helped me navigate the space so I wouldn't get hurt. Wait, you're telling me VCs saw a woman hobbled walking around on crutches at a sex party sleeping in the cuddle space and they didn't see her as an easy rape target? This event had absolutely nothing to do with the sex party. I sat around talking about Bach and machine learning and OpenGL all night. It was just another party, vaguely burnery in its aesthetic. I was at the party later than you, stone cold sober. It was not a sex party. Don't get me wrong, Silicon Valley and the rest of the industry perpetrates real insults against women, but this party was not one of them. My husband and I were at this party until well after 3 a.m. We have been to many of Genevieve's and Steve's parties. We are geeks. We hung out with geeks. It was a great party. So we have some people like Paul who saying this event was actually worse than it was portrayed, and then other people who were at the event longer than him saying nothing happened. There were no drugs. There was no sex. But what's the point here? Because it feels like I'm reading about 1%er problems. And it also feels hypocritical as well. Silicon Valley, as sex positive as it is only sex positive until rich white dudes are involved. And the abuse of power rationale here doesn't work for me either. Because guys like Paul have to say women and underrepresented minorities can be exploited. What about gays and Asians? Overrepresentation suddenly means that you're capable of handling sex being used as leverage? I mean, if Peter Thiel comes up to me and he dangles $10 million in front of my face, but asks to fuck me in the ass first, I'd just say no. But if I did say yes, I'd live with that decision rather than trying to convince people that I'm somehow a victim.